Hello, everybody. Hey, so real quick, I just want to show you guys how I use the scanner using some of those same principles that Adeze just talked about in the 3 videos that she put together on how to use the harmonic scanner. This is going to be more intermediate to advanced level. We're going to show you exactly, I'm going to show you exactly how I use the scanner to my advantage and how I've been able to now have a high percentage in winning using this tool. Again, the scanner, man, is an assistant, right? It's going to basically tell us, listen, this trade is setting up nicely. Let's go in and now analyze it, right? You might want to pay attention to how this pair can actually move. That's all it's telling us. So real quick, you guys have went through the tools and try to fix, you know how to navigate the scanner now. So I am going to give you some of the rules that I use when I use the scanner, okay? The first thing that I look for when I use the scanner, right? Well, first we find a pair. I always like to trade on the scan for H1, H4, or D1. So right now we're going to scan using the H1, H4, D1, okay? Let's find a pair. Boom. We got GBP, JPY, right? We have a Gartley pattern forming. So what do I do when I trade with the scanner? Okay, so the first thing I'm gonna do, right? Well, I'm looking for divergence, right? That's what I'm gonna look for. Does this pair have divergence? We went over divergence in some of the prior videos. If it has divergence, then this is something that I'm gonna wanna trade. So here we go. We're gonna use our vertical tools. I'm gonna fatten that up for you guys so we all can see it. Right? We're just gonna draw to check for divergence using the X and the D. So I'm gonna draw my lines over the X and the D. Bring it down. Boom. Okay. Now, let's see. From the X to D, we have what? It's a top move from the X to the D. You guys see that? It's going down. Okay? So price action is going down. Okay. Divergence, or I'm sorry, RSI down here. Let's see that same price action up top, right? From here to here is doing what? Well, it's going up. Guys, is that divergence? That's divergence. Boom. So that automatically tells me, listen, I want to trade this pair, right? This is something that I want to be interested, I want to look for. Okay, now, what kind of divergence is this? So I'm going to go to my divergence tool that we have. Okay, so let's see. We have a price includes lower high. Boom. Do we have a lower high there, guys? This was a high. Boom. Lower high. Yes. Okay. Perfect. And a indicator or oscillator makes a higher high. Do we have a higher high here, guys? Yes. So what divergence is that? That is a bearish divergence. So what does that mean? It means we're looking now for price to go down. Look what the scanner called. It called a sell, right? The D's here, stop loss here, entry here. So it called a sell. So now what do we do? Well, now what we do is here. We're going to analyze price action, right? So this is what I like to do. So we're going to analyze price action. How? We're going to find the two most recent highs or lows, depending on if we're buying or selling. Okay? two most recent highs or lows. So in this instance, we are, let me put this up here. So in this instance, we are selling. So because we are selling, I'm going to look for the two most recent highs. Okay. That because I want to know the different zones. I like to answer three questions, right? I like to know where price should go, could go, and should not go. And by doing that, I need to find my two most recent highs or lows, depending. But because it's a sell, we're going to look for the two most recent highs. How do I do that? Well, now, guys, we're going to go. At days they talked about finding our or analyzing. We have two different charts, right? We have our analyzing chart and then we have our entry chart. Right now we need to analyze. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Trading View, right? And let me delete this. Sorry. I'm going to go to Trading View and I'm going to analyze this pair. So right now this is calling the sell on the 1 hour. So what does that mean? Well, that means I'm going to analyze on the 4 hour. So I got the GBP JPY set up here. We're going to analyze this pair on the 4 hour. Okay. Now, analyzing this pair, what does that consist of? Guys, you guys all should know at this point how we look into the charts and just trying to find structure, right? I'm going to just kind of draw some support and resistance lines here as we analyze. I understand, like, this here is a good support and resistance, right? We see price use this as support here, broke through. Now it's resistance. It was resistance here. So that was a line. This was a support and resistance line here. So here's the thing. This is why this is going to be so crucial, because we have a trending market here, guys. You guys see this trending market. Whenever we have a trending market, zones are good. So we have a trending market, right? And what's happening in this trending market right now is that when price breaks a zone, it usually retests. So here, broke resistance, broke support, it tested as resistance. Come back down, right? Broke support, retested as resistance, right? Here's the next zone for us. Right here. Let's look left just to make sure. Boom. Yeah, you see that? Look left. Boom. Here's resist. Here's support there. So it's good. So for this particular trade, let's look left. Just want to make sure we're drawing this great. We're drawing this strong. Gonna look left. It's gonna keep going left. Okay. Boom. Yeah. So we have a very strong zone, very strong area, right? So we have our trend line set. We have a trending market. Our last two highs, right, that I talked about is where? Here and here. Our most recent high on the analyzed, right, is like the 148,320. Okay. So once I find my two most recent highs, I say, well, listen, price could come back here, retest, and then fall, right, to this 14832 area. Or price could come up here, retest this 149.4 area, and fall. Okay. So we understand, we've already done our analysis, right? We understand that this is a down market, a trending market to the downside, right? We just now need to find a good entry, right? Get rid of that. What's going on there? Let's get rid of that right there. It's trying to confuse us. Perfect. All right. So now we've done our analysis. We have our two most recent highs, right? If you look on the scanner, let's go back to the scanner real quick. You know, they got kind of the same area, but they're calling our stop. So they're calling our stop loss to be moved to move here. Boom. Okay. So next, what do I do? So the next thing I do is I like to identify price action around those highs and lows. Okay. So we want to analyze, we want good price action around those. So if we're looking for a sell, right, we want selling price action before we enter this trade. So what does that consist of? Well, if we're in a down market, if we're in a selling market, well, we don't want to see a bullish candle, do we? No, we want to see price action showing us that, boom, we're moving to the downward direction again. So now we've already did our analyzing price chart. So this is where now we go down to our entry chart. So what time frame are we going to use? Well, the scanner called the trade on the sell, on the 1 hour. So we're going to analyze, we're going to now enter on the 1 hour. Okay, where's a good area to enter? So this is how we're going to play this, right? And so this is how I use some of the tools. And so I'm going to give you guys my last tool that I use as a confirmation to get into the trade. So me personally, I like to use Bollinger Bands. Okay. So I'm gonna put that there, Bollinger Bands cross. Okay, what do I mean by that? Okay, now I go back to my entry chart on the 1 hour. I use Bollinger Bands. Okay, here's my, sorry. Okay, here's my coordinates for my Bollinger Band, so you guys can see that. So I'll touch the Bollinger Band. Let me go to my settings so you guys can see my scale. Boom. I'm using the 20 length standard deviation of 2. Okay. Now, what are Bollinger Bands? Well, it's another oscillator. It's going to identify the momentum of the market, right? And also, this is the moving average, right? So we got a 20 period moving average that I'm using. Okay. Now, that's the middle, right? The outside just identifies momentum. Okay. This is how I like to use it, right? I also like to use it in conjunction with RSI. So let me bring my RSI in as well. Boom. Okay. So let me zoom in. This is what I'm talking about. This is what I need, right? I'm not ready to enter this trade, but we've done our analysis on this trade. Okay. This is what I want to see, right? This is what I really want to see on this particular trade, right? I want to see price, right? Price action around our zones. So this first zone around the 14830, right? I want to see price kind of get up there, and I want to see how it reacts up there. If we get up here and we get a bearish move to the downside, boom, that tells me, listen, it's rejected this area. Price should do what did? I'm going to look for price to hit this area and then come crashing down. Okay. Now, what else am I going to look for? Well, once I get that movement to the upside, right? You guys see this top momentum indicator, right? This line here. I want to see it now cross over my candlestick on the hourly. Okay. Let me give you an example of that. go left a little bit. Let me give you an example of that. Okay. So you guys see, this is perfect. So you see how the candlestick closes outside of my momentum indicator here? You see the stick here? Let me circle it for you. Where's my brush? Okay, we're gonna focus on this candlestick right here. Okay, you see how price closed outside of this, right? But the momentum indicator was under it, which means, listen, there's selling pressure in the market, right? Even though that we bought here, there's selling pressure that's coming in the market. This candlestick closed outside of this, right? So then we had some close, we had some movement, and then now we started our down movement. This was an indication right here that, hey, we should be looking to sell now, right? Sellers are in the market. Now also, what's another good indicator? Well, RSI, right? We like to see a higher RSI. I typically like to see it anywhere between the 60 and 70, 60 and 80, 60 or above area. Once we get that action, that tells that we have a high number of buyers in the market. We should be moving. We should now look for sellers to start moving in because our market's becoming overly bought, right? Just like if we can go back and look through time, and I'll just kind of give you guys some additional confirmation of how that looks, right? Here you go. We had another candlestick close above our momentum indicator, right? We had RSI around the 60 area. It closed above. Boom. Now we have selling pressure entering the market. Is this going to be the same thing every time? No, but it's a good indicator. Here's another example, right? That we should start moving, right? We have our zone, we have price now, we have our Bollinger Band, crossing our pairs. We had this bearish candle close outside of it, right? We had our RSI. RSI was under 30, which is a strong indicator. Now we had some bullish move to the upside, right? Bullish move to the upside right there on our zone area. Boom. So that's a good indication that, listen, we should potentially get some movement to the upside. See, it didn't go all the way back up and touch the zone, but we had some bearish move. From here to here, we had, that's almost, 100 and, let's see, from here, which is 149.3 to here, which is 150. Boom. We had an 80 pip move. So that was a strong indicator, guys. Right there on our zones, right there on our levels, right? So here, what are we looking for? We're looking, boom, we got RSI almost above that 60 area, but we do not have any price action above right here in our zone. This is what we want to see. We want to see price action up here for us to indicate that we need to get into. That's our last confirmation. Once price gets up here and our Bollinger Band crosses our candlestick up here, boom, that's our last confirmation that I'm going to say, listen, time for me to get in this sell. We'll get some price action to the downside. Boom, we're moving. The scanner gives us a few take profits. Of course, you could do some additional analysis to figure out your take profit, but it gives us one at the 147.8 and the 147.62, ultimately the 147.33. Guys, that's how I use the scanner. You could use it too. Let me know if you have any questions, comments, concerns, man, and let's catch these pips. Thank you.